Is it okay now, sir? Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
audible.
Okay. So today's presentation is on data science and statistical application using R or R tool. So before that, we will just have a general outline on the basic terminologies for the title. So data science is an interdisciplinary field, and it uses different scientific methods, process, and algorithms, and also it is having different systems to extract the knowledge for the structured and unstructured data. So here we have a broad range of data. How do we measure the insights for all those wide range of data in different application domains? So we have lots and lots of informations nowadays in various fields of marketing or education or entertainment, whatever it is. So all how those informations are processed, and how those informations are uh, stored, and how some extraction or some structuring is pattern is applied over in order to arrive at some objective. Again, we have the terminology in our title, statistics. What is statistics application and how the statistics applications are used in data science? Before that, the statistics is the process. It is having a wide range of problems. So either a critical problem or either a collision oriented problem, whatever it is, the statistics is one of the process where from the analysis of data we are going to have extraction or the process or some structure of data or pattern that is going to be extracted. So statistics is a very powerful technology where we are going to analyze certain information, a bulk amount of information or a large amount of information, from which we are going to obtain a certain knowledge. So statistics is a very meaning, like it is used to derive a meaningful insights from any kind of data in the mathematical aspects. So now, how the statistics are used in data science, very technically to see, we can see the regression, classification, time series analysis, and hypothesis testing. These are some common methods which are very popular in the statistical methods, where we do research and we do data analysis in case of any data science domain applications. Most of the scientists, those who get involved in the data science, they involve in the implementation process in order to compare the results and in order to interpret the results and take some inferential knowledge out of those results. So these are these statistical methods are very much useful for all the experimenters and the researchers, and also those who do the project in the domain of data science. So how the data or the information is summarized in the statistics, and how they are quickly done, and with what kind of approaches and techniques they are done, we will see in the upcoming slides. So in if we see the data science applications, it is a wide range. It could be applied in different fields. Like if you want to detect some of hacking, any kind of hacking application, or any kind of medical field, and any kind of online streaming, or if you want to extract some information based on online streaming, or any kind of hardware application that is integrated with the software, through the software out of which we collect the data from the hardware devices, either through online or the offline. And we have so many different modules and for these kinds of integration of hardware and software devices. And also in most of the like in case of having some posters or some advertising web pages, and also some of the website informations, like some of the information that is hosted on the website, it's having more kind of technical information. Some of the private sectors and the public sectors, they do get involved in extracting all those information in order to host their information in the website. In order to effectively host it, we need to perform some criteria, that is the data science application, in order to analyze the data and also in order to publish the information in the web pages. And also it is widely used in case of image detection, or some kind of image frames in a video recognition or audio recognition. And so many applications are there where the data science is getting involved. Again, if we see very particularly, most of the time the data analysis is based on the business strategies, and they apply for the business logistics. And in order to take a very effective account analysis from the finance. They use data science applications in a wide way. And there are so many examples also, like very particularly, there are so many algorithmic steps and procedures where we could go for extracting the information from the available information through analysis by certain technology. So identification and prediction of this is one of the example, and some of the logistics which is in order to optimize in real time, like in the aspect of, for example, if you want to optimize the energy for any kind of project application, and if you want to automate any devices, and based on automation we can digitalize some of the informations based on the data science applications. Like always we see in some of the basic courses, we see we always translate the informations in the character or the text form or a string form into a digital form. So similarly, data science helps in various sectors through this application. And this is architecture where mathematics and computer science are both of the domains which are involved in order to implement a very effective statistical research. And we know the machine learning is a very booming and a very popular application in various researches and in various projects. So the data science is also like it relies on machine learning. Like a person should be a domain expertise, and also he should know mathematics in order to perform machine learning. And if we see, the person should be expertise in computer science and also a particular domain expertise in order to perform any kind of data processing. So all of the three things together, data processing, statistical research, and machine learning, are widely involved in order to implement certain kind of applications or projects. So what is a very mostly used programming language? If we see, the statistical programming language is R, and it is a free software tool. And also we have so many graphical functions and graphical classes. Corresponding classes enable some certain functions in order to process the informations in the aspect of data science domain. And widely this tool is used by the researchers in order to analyze the results and extract some informations out of the information which is available. So for analysis, this is one of the very interesting tool for statistics and research methods. Next, data analysis in data science and statistics. How do you do data analysis using this R tool? If you see, there is a R programming consists, like it is used by the most of the professional in the application of data science and statistics, and in order to model your financial data, and also to map the marketing trends. And some of very specific applications I have just listed here are qualitative and quantitative informations. We can calculate the mean, median, and quartiles, and also we could determine the variance and the standard deviation, and also we could calculate and determine the probability distribution, like what is the probability density of certain information could be retrieved and it could be processed in certain algorithms, like so most of the algorithms in data science. Like in order to analyze information, we do apply the data mining algorithms, and we do apply some security algorithms. So in that case, the probability distribution supports a lot in various techniques. And finally, ultimately, hypothesis testing is the common one where all the researchers do in order to determine the final conclusion of the research or projects. So how do we understand this R tool for the application of data science and statistical applications? So we can just go through only certain things which is relevant to data science and statistical applications. So the fundamentals of R, it contains vectors, matrices, lists, and data frames. We can import some data, and we can do process on it, and we can visualize the various informations in different ways of statistical in hosting information. And how there is a population and sample. For example, if there is a population and sample, how do you pick the sample from the target population? And how do you just select certain objects from a given set of population? Always a sample is chosen in order to process, or in order to execute. In order to execute in certain algorithms, always we do take a sample of information. So we take a target population and we pick the samples. So they are classified into two strategies: random sampling and stratified sampling. So in random sampling, we can see the samples, how the samples are picked with the equal probability, and also we can pick the sample without tuning the information, like by specifying, without specifying any particular thing. This is called random sampling. And what is stratified sampling is that you can see the population, where you can partition the population and then you can go on for subsampling. So you could pick any, for example, the in the picture you can see there is a sampling done, and the population is separated in the second picture with green and orange, and again there is a subsampling done for each of the segments. So this is the case of stratified sampling. And there are different types of data, qualitative and two kinds of data, qualitative and quantitative. How do we look at the qualitative data and how do we look at the quantitative data? So the very best example I have just like shown here is binary and nominal in case of qualitative data. So the binary information is either 0 or 1. So the digital information of which is going to be processed or stored or accessed in any kind of data analysis. So it is determined with a binary information with the data 0 and 1. So it is a example. Binary is the best example for qualitative analysis. And also there is a nominal data. For example, if you have for example, if you can represent the size of a dress, like whether it is a size, small size or medium size or XL size. So we can represent the size for the dress. So that is also a qualitative data. And in case of quantitative data, we are going to present the numerical measurement very exactly. For example, the digital informations could be presented in a continuous way. If you take some information, some text informations, or any kind of files which is having some certain characters or symbols or strings, when this information is processed through any kind of algorithm, either it can be a text or either it can be image or either it can be a video or audio, all those information could be analyzed in terms of pixel resolution, so it can be continuously represented in the for digital form. So it is having some quantity. The resulting information is having some quantity in order to process our algorithm. Then in the quantitative, again, we can have some discrete values. So the discrete values is not continuous and it is not having a regular interval. It is having a discrete set of values. So these are two kinds of data. So very specifically, if we see the statistical measure, how do we measure the statistical information? Like the very common way in the mathematical field, they in the very common way, like they measure the mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and they calculate the variance. These are the some popular measuring informations. So I've just presented in the figure for example for mean and regression analysis, and also skewness, variance, and statistics. The mean is very well known by everyone. We take the average of certain numerical values and divided by the total number of values. And regression analysis, we perform the analysis of information through regression, where we are going to test it whether the information, the result is very appropriate and correct. And next is the skewness. The skewness is having the impact of measuring the positive and the negative values. And also variance, we can measure the variance of the information, how far we can compare the information and measure the variance. And also we can represent the statistics in terms of different categories, either numerically or through a character representation. So these are some common statistical measures. How these measures are deprivating to have certain methods, like it is having descriptive and inferential statistics. You can describe some information in statistics, and also through the description we can just infer some results, or we can infer some approach, like we can do some inference on some data, like how the information is determined, how the information could be processed in the next stage, or how it is present, how the solution is being updated, how the solution has been obtained for the current approach. So this descriptive and inferential is having certain measures, and through the mean, median, mode, and the standard deviation and skewness measures. And if we see the different types of data that we could represent in using R tool, is stored in the vector form or data frames usually. The qualitative, as we discussed, it is categorical, and it is having a factors which are stored already. So already I gave the example like gender and shoe, and also the ratings, the rating of any kind of product, like in a business field, if we have any purchase website, we do post the price of the product. So how the rating could be measured. And quantitative is a continuous or numerical set of information. So this is the R working area. So it is easily available tool where we could install, and how we could install the R tool and how we can work. The environment just looks like this. So you can just upload the files, or you can just use the environment to issue, like provide your commands, and you can just obtain the outputs for the commands, and you can run interactively. There are some examples of qualitative data, as I already told, the gender, shoe size, and rating. And if you can open the environment, you can just try this code, uh, where the environment allows you to create some vectors and frames. So we use the assigning operator as the delimiter symbol, which you can see, the less than and hyphen symbol. So the values are assigned to the vectors. Shirt is a vector, shirts is a vector. So you can specify the size of the shirt here, either like a small, medium, L, XL, and double XL. If you can open the tool and execute this, it will be fine. And you can post your outputs on the command box when you as you execute. So I've already executed and screenshotted here. So for the shirts vector, you can see the assigned values like small size shirt, medium size, S for small size, M for medium size, and L, XL, and you have different set of size shirts. And these are the elements of the shirts, and you can see how when I just give the input values, when I assign the input values, and when I want to display the elements for the size, you can see the size of the shirts which is displayed in the output at the below. You can see at the below. Please open the environment if you can, and if please execute this code, and please drop the output in the output screenshot in the comment box, so that I will know that whether you have understood. And there is a shirt sizes, like always, not only the vector is enough, we need to assign the factors for the vectors. So shirts are already available it as a vector, and you have to assign the factors to the vectors. So shirt size is less than, like you provide, you are assigning using the symbol less than and hyphen. So the factor of shirts is assigned to the shirt sizes vector. So only then you can display the string of the shirt sizes. So it displays the levels. If you want to display the levels, this is the procedure to display the levels of the shirt sizes. So you can just try this code, and again you can see, if you want to see the summary of the shirt sizes, this arguments can be given, like summary of the shirt sizes can be given as the argument for displaying the summary of the shirt sizes. And there is a different level of shirts. So if you want to display the level of shirts here, it is displaying as null. So how to give it very correctly, you can see the levels of shirt sizes as null. And if you want to display it in the form of table, you can see the table of shirt sizes. It displays the table, and you can see the XL is occurring for 2 times, and double XL is for occurring for 2 times, and the small size shirt for 2 times, and the medium size for 3, and L for 2 times. So this R tool extracts the in terms of table. It analyzes the levels, and it displays in terms of table. So next is a visualizing qualitative data. How do you visualize the qualitative data? So there can be different kinds of plots. I have just mentioned only the bar plot and pie charts here. So here also we can consider the same example. How do we represent the bar plot and the pie plot using the R tool for displaying the shirt sizes in terms of graphical, in terms of graphical picture, graphical report. So you have to use the function bar plot. Similarly, you will be assigning the shirt sizes to the shirt vector, and you will assign the factor of shirt sizes to the shirt sizes vector, and you will assign the table of shirt sizes to the shirts table, and you will display the plot for the shirts table. You can just you will get a bar plot if you just execute this. And your shirts table argument, which is passed for the bar plot, it will enable you to display the graphical report. You can see the graphical report. There is, I didn't screenshot the graphical report. You can execute and see if you are using the art tool. If you want to assign some variance to the bar for your bars, you can assign various colors. So you can see here how the colors are assigned. So the bars will display usually with a common default color, sort of gray color. So when you assign the colors of the bars with different colors, you can see the bars with different colors like blue, green, red, and yellow as I indicated here. And also you can use the YLab count in order to count your various levels. And very specifically, if you want to find out the shirts with medium size, or very specifically you want to sum up the shirt sizes with large size, you can plot those very specifically. So this is the syntax in order to assign the values for finding out the medium and large size shirts. You can just try to execute and just post the output in the comment box, so that let me know if you are able to understand. So the next, you can see the bar plots, this having a same information, like you're plotting the size, and the bar chart. Apart from the bar chart, you can also do the pie chart. You can also just create some pie charts. So pie charts will use the pie function, and also you can pass the arguments of the shirts table which you have already created. So the table of age contains column of, you can specify before representing the colors, there will be some default colors. If you want to specify some colors to your pie chart, you can specify the colors with a pie chart with a table of age, or by passing the argument the table of age, where we have created the age vector and assigned the factor of values to the age year. So it represents, this program represents the age less than 14 and 15 to 24, 25 to 34, and greater than 35. So you can customize the pie chart by assigning the certain colors using bar and also pie. So these are the some examples for qualitative data, and here you can find quantitative data. So how do you experiment the quantitative data? How do you measure the quantitative data? What are the different prices? These are some examples for the quantitative data. So this using R tool, there is an example, like you will just create a songs vector. So using the songs vector, we can assign the values to the songs vector, and according to the songs, how much rating for each song you get. So these are the data values you can see: 5.3, 3.6, 5.5, 4.7, 6.7, 4.3, etc. So all these data items which is assigned as elements to the songs vector, you are going to display in the songs. You can see the corresponding output. How do you display these values when you execute it? And for example, you want to assign the ratings for the particular song. We are assigning the values for the ratings vector, like 2, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, etc. You can display the ratings. So this could be in this we can also plot the same application of using the pie chart or the graphical plot in order to visualize your quantitative data, and also in the same way as I showed you before, we can even assign the colors. So this is how we are presenting the quantitative data, and also we can just present the summarize length of the ratings and length of summary of the ratings, and we can also show the histogram of the particular rating, and also we can show the histogram with the specified colors, and also we can also specify the how the density of the ratings, what is the density of each ratings, and also we can represent the each ratings in terms of colors with various plots, like a box plot and a pie or a bar plot. So this is a example, and this is another the same example. You're assigning the values for the songs, and we are finding out the sum of like we are finding the mean of the songs, like sum of songs divided by the length of songs, and we can find the minimum value, maximum value, and we can sort. So we can use the sort functions and product functions, so you can see the corresponding value of summing the ratings of the songs, and also the you can see the product of the songs and sum and minimum, like in the output also what is the corresponding output on sorting after the product and after the sum. So these are some operations that could be performed using the statistical analysis. So similarly, like even we have so many applications like library, which is selling the books. In order to sell some books, in order to manage some books in the library, we can go for using these applications. So these applications are widely applicable in case of analyzing the growth rates. So why do we go for all these kinds of implementations? The purpose is, for example, if we want to find the growth rate of a particular business or the annual growth rate for a particular pros in a financial application, we have to specifically find the growth rate for each and everything. So the mean function helps to find out the sum of mean, and also it shows us how to calculate the mean and in order to identify the growth rate. So not only for the stocks, there are different applications, and there are different kinds of means in case of research analysis. Like we can determine the harmonic mean, and also we can determine the median mode, and also the variance and the standard deviation of the data analysis in case of business aspect. So these could be implemented with different types of measuring tendencies with the help of mean, median, mode, and variance or standard deviation. So all these samples could be taken and processed according to the mathematical criteria or mathematical applications in order to effectively uh, come out with a uh, effective outcomes or effective results on analyzing the data through data science domain applications. So these are some examples, and you have some more techniques in the research. Like in order to determine some research techniques, we determine so many coefficients like positive correlation or negative correlation or zero correlation. So we will determine so many of the we can use these same functionalities in the R tool for even determining these correlations like positive, negative. So again, if we want to display some of the price informations of your financial data, we can display using the we can read the file. Also, we can just select some informations from the read file, and also we can write some informations inside the file. So R tool allows you to establish certain implementations that's very specific and provides a relationship between different variables and moves the stocks, like moving the stock values to provide the positive covariance, and also like we can do so many portfolio analysis in order to apply the techniques of correlation and covariance. So this is how the financial data is analyzed. or the business data is analyzed using the statistical application using R tool. So next I want to show you hypothesis testing. So apart from like probability distribution, we have so many different types of probability distribution. So based on the probability distribution, we can extract some information and we can just have the what is the probability of the outcome or the result from the financial account. So apart from this, how do we finalize in this, based on this, how do we finalize the hypothesis testing? So I've just mentioned the steps here. Whether we have to state the hypothesis as null or alternative. So these are some 5 steps where we go for testing the hypothesis. We have to state the null or alternative hypothesis, and we have to choose the significance in order to state the hypothesis, and also we have to determine the critical values, and we have to test the statistics, and also out of that we have to draw the conclusion whether it is accepted, the hypothesis accepted or rejected. So how do we calculate those, and how can we do it using the R tool? R tool is having the corresponding functionalities in order to establish these informations also. So let me explain here. There is a problem. You have a population of around 100 with a standard deviation of 15, and there is researchers believe this value has changed. It is not constant. The 100 is not constant, and he decides to test the IQ of the adults as 75 for random adults, and the average sample is 105. And how could we suggest that the evidence to suggest the average of IQ has changed, whether it is changed or not? So we are going to determine the hypothesis for this. So you can find out, you can just see the H naught is the hypothesis for the adult population, for the entire population, which is specified here. And also there is a alternative hypothesis H1, which is not equal to 100. So the very suitable test, we can apply one tail test. So many tests are there. The very suitable test over here could be the uh, two-tailed test. So how the two-tailed test is represented, you can see on the sides. So we can represent, you can represent these significance, this to signify the, to find the significant result, we have represent the two-tailed test. So when we represent the two-tailed test, you can see the both of the tail, there are two tails, one on the left side and one on the right side. So the two tails are symmetrical, and the common, in common, it is having the alpha value as a level of significance is common for both of the tails, which is alpha. You can see there at the top, which is 0.05. So how do we calculate the how the tails are symmetrical and how it shares the level of values? Like 0.05 is shared on the two sides as 0.025 and 0.025 on the left and right side, both sides. So this is how to represent in order to find the level of significance. So how do you calculate the area, remaining area, or the area for population? Is that you have to subtract from the total population. The significance level 0.05 is subtracted from 100, which is 0.95. So this is the level of significance represented. Next stage, we have to find the critical value. This is a table for a particular research. It shows the confidence level and z-score, and also the tail, and also the z-score. So 1.96 is the 1.96 is the, you can see we have found out choosing the level of significance alpha. So when we find the critical value, the level of significance alpha is 0.05. It lies, it is the 0.05, it lies at 95% of the confidence level. So the corresponding critical value is 1.96. So the critical value determined is 1.96 over here. Next step is we have to test the statistics. So you have to determine the standard deviation. The standard deviation which is already determined for the population of 100 is 15. So our standard deviation sigma could be 15. So we can find the region which is accepted or rejected over here. So if our standard deviation is 100, we say that it is accepted. And like if it is a if it is a, like if it is like it is not 100, the standard deviation is 15 here, it is not 100, so we accept the hypothesis which is not equal to 100. So this is how the hypothesis is tested for the two-tailed test in terms of two-tailed test. And again, there are different kinds of analysis as we listed in the applications, like regression analysis. So time series analysis is one of the essential things where you calculate the time. So according to the period of time, the quarters are represented in terms of the time period is represented in terms of quarters. So this is a average method calculation. In order to find the indices of the quarters, we have to find the index values for each quarters. For example, quarter 1 and 2, you can find 3, you have 4 quarters, and again a sequence of 4 quarters in a year, and again a 4 quarters of sequence in another year. So there are 3 years, and we are assigning the index value in X code column for each of the quarters. So there are totally 12 quarters. And if you see, there is a Y column. So we have the values assigned for the particular time period. What is the ratio to move the average method in order to calculate the index values by adjusting with the quarters. So based on the Y values, you can see how the average is calculated on the column which indicates 4QMA. So in this column, the 4 quarters are considered, and the average is calculated in case of all the quarters consequently. For example, for 30 and 39, it is 37.25, and for 39 and 60, the mean is 42.25, and 60 and 40, the average is 47.5. So for 40 and 51, it is 53.25, and 51 and 62, it is 58.5. So we have various tools for time series analysis, which helps us to automatically calculate the values in the index. So similarly, we can calculate the centered average based on the quarter average calculation, and the percentage of average could be determined finally based on the center average. So the table shows the values of the corresponding percentage. How do we calculate the percentage average for the center average? So these are some of the discussions for how do we apply the statistical applications in data science using the R tool. So this is this hypothesis testing and regression analysis and time series analysis. So all these sorts of methods help us in a various way in order to establish the research data analysis, in order to implement some of the in some of the algorithms and some of the approaches very effectively. And there are different kinds of hypothesis problems which helps us to state the hypothesis or test the hypothesis in a very better way. And time series analysis is the best example, like how how do we represent the data or information in terms of time series. And also we can perform different machine learning algorithm techniques. We can implement different machine learning algorithms which involves the data analysis in ways of classification and clustering, and there are different types of methods. How do we classify, and how do we determine the multiple classes, and also how do we determine the binary machine learning and multivariant machine learning. So there are different types of classifiers also, which uses different indexes and spam folders in order to determine. For example, if we want to determine the index values, classifier is the effective way to use uh, used to classify the index values. And also, if you have a particular spam folder, if you want to classify the spam data, we can classify it in a better way. So these are some examples, like how do we go for performing the data analysis and statistic data analysis for apply for in like by applying the data science and the statistical applications. So using our tool, the data science could be done very effectively. There are various other tools also. So if you want to use if you want to apply some interesting research uh, research technique in order to analyze the data, our tool could be one of the way. And also, like the very common tool, we use MATLAB also in order to analyze the informations. And not only that, we have so many other environments which helps us uh, to analyze our quantitative and qualitative informations. And there are R packages. It contains multiple functions also, and we can access all those functions by enhancing our project through the machine learning techniques or any other data analysis techniques. So anything could be represented in the R tool, using the R tool with the help of like hosting the graphical report, and also applying some mathematical cases and plotting all the results using the graphical functionalities, and also representing some correlations of results. And if you see, there are various other computer science domain tools like Microsoft Visual Studio and NetBeans, where do we implement some projects using high level programming languages. So all the high level programming languages support the environment in order to implement all the programs using the data analysis solutions. So we have a spreadsheet and presentation. We have a spreadsheet and table information that has to be effectively managed. And also we have some of the tools like SQL. In order to extract data, we use SQL queries. So very particularly, we are discussing only our tool here. So these could be done in various other tools also. So these are some applications which we have discussed using the R programming. And some examples I have highlighted using R programming for business case and financial case. So in depth, we can just extract the entire file of statistical information, and we can do the data wrangling by applying some machine learning technique, like as we did the time series analysis and hypothesis testing here. So most of the time, business analytics is the more common application for our tool, and most of the researchers, they use it for hypothesis testing, time series analysis, and regression analysis. So these are the common researches that could be applied using the R tool. So very particularly, you can install R tool by reading and exporting data inside the R tool, and we can perform the statistical analysis. And you have various packages in R. So based on the programming environment, you could use the R tool, and R tool could be used as a plugin for other software environment, where whatever the process or algorithm or the information what we process here could be used as a plugin to the other software tools, either in Windows or Linux environment. So data storage and analysis could be interpreted using the R tool. So this is also called as an interpreted language. And how the data storage analysis and graphing, I showed you an example code, and it's also free open source. And uh, it is having you can just download the version of R. So this is a sample, but you can find so many resources, website resource which contains the R tool. So either Linux or Windows, and you can install it through the Linux through configuring the file, and also you can have the icon in the desktop in order to open it. And it's having various strengths and weakness. It is having various strengths and weakness, like sometimes it is not flexible for implementing very high end statistical methods. And some of the flexible graphics could be done only in terms of graphical tools. So in that case, we will go for the other tools. But this is a basic research professional. This tool is basically used for the research professionals in a basic way, and not suitable for high-end statistical methods. Only for samples this tool is very much suitable. And if we have high-end statistical methods, we can go for simulating using the MATLAB. And this flexible graphics and intelligent defaults, whichever is available in RTool, could be used. And there is lots of weakness, but only two I have mentioned. There is a steep learning curve that could not be determined here, and also it is slow for large data sets. And the tool contains very highly functional things, like you have strict named arguments and is having its own corresponding syntax. We have to follow the syntax by using the functions, like only through vectors. And if you assign to the vectors, it cannot be directly processed, as I told you in the example, as I showed you in the example. We have to just assign the factors for the vectors in order to function our values or the objects. So the assignment operator is like less than hyphen. Like this, you can assign number 5 to the variable x, so that x gets the value of 5. And so many programming language use statistical analysis and graphics, and you can open multiple data sets at the same time using RTool. And it's RTool is as it is open source, you can collect several pieces of informations, and you can assign several variables, and you can, for each variable, you can assign one or more several values. And these packages, statistical packages of R, can be SPSS, SAS, and Stata, and other tools also, other softwares also. So you can select the current format of data set if you want to provide the data set in a particular file. And you can browse the data set, and also you can select the data format which it is necessary, and we can save it in the corresponding file format. In case of RTool, if we go for using SAS and SPSS or Stata tools for statistics. So we have lots of examples, like we can just even we can just process the information which is saved in the Excel file, or any kind of spreadsheet file. So these are some informations about the RTool. And if we see data structures, how the data structures could be how the data structures are involved in the RTool. So there are you can represent any kind of virtual data. For example, if we have any kind of virtual applications or multimedia informations, uh, the statistics, that the business statistics, like which is involved virtually, even the virtual applications also, virtually from the remote area, we can just have collect the informations inside the connected network, and we can apply the data structures. So it supports virtually for all type of data here. And RTool also provides, uh, like as we implement the data structures applications, it provides the numbers, characters, and logical decisions that can be made. And you can represent the arrays of sizes. And as I said, we have to assign the values using the vectors, and we have to process the vectors using the factors. So the vectors and the matrices are the simplest way to implement using the RTool. And the list accepts the mixed values or the mixed type of variables. And list can contain data frame. So a particular data set, for example, I showed you the example of posting the shirt sizes and the songs, number of songs, and its ratings. So we can have a rectangular data set for a particular data, which is called a data frame. So this is a this is how we represent the data structure in R with the help of linear and a rectangular case. So if it is linear, you can represent it as vector and list. If you want to represent it as a rectangular form, you can represent through matrix and data frame. If the data type are same in rectangular and linear, it can be vectors and matrix. And if the data are mixed, if the type of data are mixed, you can represent using the list and data frame. So all kinds of complex problems in the statistics can be solved and analyzed in a meaningful way by using these statistical insights using the RTool data structure functionalities. So how do you run R data? It is very simple. Directly on the command, we can retrieve some information, or we can go for saving it in a file, and you have different editors to store it, and also you can specify the file name with .r, and output can be retrieved with .r out. So based on the major data science applications like regression or classification techniques or machine learning techniques or time series analysis, or if we do some statistical measuring such as hypothesis testing, all the professionals or the researchers or the project, those who are doing project, can make use of this method in order to summarize the information very quickly and retrieve the fair outcome or the optimum outcome very effectively. So in R, we have certain library functions and packages. So we can read the data from different sources. As I told you, from different softwares, we can extract the data from different softwares inside the R tool. And R tool is also allowing the Windows and Linux environment. Uh, Through the Windows and Linux environment, we can extract the data from the R tool to other various software tools. So wherever the function is necessary, we can perform the process or the functions in order to analyze the data and conduct the statistical data analysis, and we can save the outputs and use the workspace very effectively. So these are some specific tasks in R. To see whether the directories and data are loaded, you can use type colon search, and in order to present some statistical functions like some of the very basic or fundamental algorithms, if we want to implement or analyze the raw data, the statistical model can predict the result for different fields like education field or any kind of weather information for the weather project, or any kind of business information like stock market, or any kind of sensors, IoT sensors, which provides the information could be collected collected, and those informations could be applied with the statistical functionalities and fundamentals of statistical principles in order to analyze the raw data. So whatever the raw data we obtain from various fields, the statistical model allows us to support in by using this R tool and infer and predict the result also. So like in case of retail, if the person is having a retail shop, the number of products sold, and analysis of the price of the product, and uh, every annual year uh, return and investments. And in case of education field, we analyze the like student results and the student information, like the analysis of a number of student graduates and their results, and processing of using online portal for displaying the results of student uh, grades, and maintaining the stock market. So all these are some of the statistical examples which influence the real-time life domain. And also we can we have certain statistics for data science, like as we saw, population and samples, any kind of information contains the population and its sources where the data are collected, and the subset of population and is chosen, and the variable and the numbers and the quantity measurement according to the qualitative or quantitative analysis is determined in the statistical analysis. So these could be some specific tasks to see your directories, what you see here. In order to see the objects stored, we can see using the objects, and in order to include data set using the search path analysis, you could use type colon attach and the argument of name of the data set and an expression. If you want to remove the data set, you use type and detach function and the name of the data set to remove. And for reading the informations, uh, you can read it from a spreadsheet or other systems, and based on the type of analysis, either qualitative or quantitative, we can interpret all the information through the spreadsheet. After you collect the information, and after you interpret the data with particular numerical value or categorical value, and based on the graph, on the quantitative analysis, uh, R tool allows you to read and pre-process all these kinds of information. And in case of qualitative analysis also, it gives a generic information and it uses the audio information or text information or video, any kind of media information could be processed based on the qualitative analysis. For example, when we consider media, image, audio, and video could occupy more memory space. So, in order to very effectively manage the database and the storage, the qualitative analysis takes effort also to maintain the quality of the information. So, the quality of the information can be maintained by using the qualitative techniques. Like in order to reduce the bandwidth during the transmission, we use some of the compression, encoding, and decoding techniques. So very popular techniques and very effective and qualitative file format techniques could be used in order to maintain the qualitative analysis also. So that the bandwidth, when we extract the information, the bandwidth will maintain its quality. So this can be done through the qualitative analysis in data science. And as we discussed the two main categories as descriptive and inferential data, this spreadsheet gives us the entire statistics of information in a descriptive way and an inferential way. So this description of population through numerical calculation and graphs and tables are supported in order to read the spreadsheet and also to read the system information using other software tools. Actually, we can organize the data and focus on particular characteristics, like how to analyze the particular data, what is our requirement actually, and we can provide the uh, data with the parameters according to the characteristics of data which has to be analyzed very specifically. So this is kind of descriptive statistics as we discussed, and also the common mathematical applications are also applied at the same time. Like when you want to perform some mean, mode, and standard deviation operations, and also some maximum, minimum, and average calculations of descriptive statistics. So based on this analysis, after analyzing the data, this inferential statistics and predictions about the population and the samples which are processed could be inferred by applying the probability techniques. Some of the some of the population based sample models, and these models could use some of the way of flow design where we can specifically follow the steps in order to determine the inferential statistics of a particular data. And now we focus on the descriptive statistics and the inferential statistics, whatever we obtain through the information that we analyze through the reading from R tool. So maintaining the information inside the R tool that reads the information in the R tool, understands the descriptive analysis as well as it helps to infer the solutions and infer the results. And we can also represent the forms. As we know, we can represent the data information in form of graphics and histogram and line plots. It can have the central tendency measures of mathematics like mean, median, mode, and standard deviation. And also based on determining these measures, the data can be still more analyzed, and we can have a common way of measuring the information further by sorting the information and finding the range of information, and finding the quartile, like what is the time period, like using time series analysis we can specify the time range of measuring the variability and dividing the data set into quartiles. We can determine the perform the time series analysis. So after the descriptive and inferential process, we can even go for measuring the range of the data and sorting the data and apply some time series analysis. And also we can determine the variance of like using finding the standard deviation, population variance, and the sample variance. So this could be done even after the inference. And particularly statistics in R, uh, it is a allowed. It is a cross platform compatible. Like if you implement in Windows, it could be easily adopted in Linux environment also. And sometimes the R tool also supports high-level programming language and acts as a powerful scripting language. And it is highly flexible and to import all kinds of data and to calculate all the mathematical functions of mean, median, mode, or variance, or in order to plot the histogram also, in order to infer the details also. This R tool is uh, helping us a lot to infer the analysis of data in case of with the help of data science applications. So these are some informations about reading the information and how do we do the pre-processing, and how do we design our flow for in order to implement some of the data science techniques using the data analysis application using R tool. So the information could be obtained in the matrix form, and you can have the library functionalities for a particular information that could be retrieved, and it could be posted in a it could be hosted as a graphical report, and also it is also having the progression for having the statistics in terms of data science in broad field of applications. So RTOL provides supports both the data analysis in case of data science as well as the statistical applications. And very particularly statistical features are used statistical features are used in the data science concepts, which supports the researchers, and which support which supports the implementers in order to uh, perform the process with a very apt statistical technique, and exploring the information in a very better way with different kinds of mathematical measurements and different kinds of essential parameters for the statistical applications. And also it is widely used in real-time applications like behavioral sciences, and also in economics, as we saw some examples for the finance and business aspect. So these applications are statistical and data science applications are using the R tool. It supports and paves the way of specifying the broad area of analysis in using the data mining algorithms, and also the some machine learning approaches. So this is like RTOL supports all of these. And how do we access the variables? Like you can use the edit function in order to edit any objects. And these are some basic things, like if you want to represent the subscripts, you can use the identifier for the elements in order to identify your vectors or the matrix. And this is syntax for dollar sign you will use for getting the age of a variable. And you can attach the data frame. And for this, there is a subset function that allows, in order to use the subset function, you have to use it for the data frame, and it specifically gives the first column of your frame. And if your frame is having the ratio of row of data of 5 rows, it is represented with uh, 1:5 ratio. And logical expressions, you can see this is the syntax. How do we represent like my frame, and the argument you will pass the frame of 1 with the less than symbol 5 to get all of the rows of the first column. So when during sampling process, we can use these functional statements which for like for displaying the rows of first column values in order to sample for the first row. And in case of graphics, we saw an example to plot with the pie chart and also the bar. And how do we design that? So in some aspect, there are some graphical devices like virtual reality modeling language, which uses the virtual reality box. So through the hardware and the software, these informations could be extracted even using the virtual modeling language. And machine learning algorithms uh, represent the patterns, like the shapes, patterns, or the colors, or the mathematical aspects which is embedded inside the data science applications. It shows the information, and it shows the descriptive data either in a qualitative way or a quantitative way, or either it is a descriptive statistics or inferential statistics. It could be represented using the plots, which shows the information using different hardware devices, real-time hardware devices, either in the entertainment aspect, like using the virtual reality modeling, or either in the medical field, like medical field graphical devices, which show some uh, effective information about the report of the patients. And in case of any kind of space statistical data analysis, it provides the space information. And so these plots could retrieve the information and connect to the hardware devices. And as I told you, very effectively, uh, in order to process very effectively all kind of media information, either it's a text, audio, video, or image, the quality of the data should be very much fine in order to manage the database, what we use it for processing our data. So these are some information about using R tool for the graphics. And this is one example for showing the report on airline passengers over a particular time. So there are this high level generated plot. It is having the number of airline passengers over a particular period of time. So the time series analysis could calculate certain functionalities, like what is the time duration for a particular passenger who's traveling, or in which particular year how many passengers traveled. So this is a sort of information could be analyzed. And this is a scatter gram, where it is having a parameter with distance versus speed. So this is how the histogram of R tool can project like other histogram tools also. So the population of the sources where the data is collected, where the sample is chosen from a particular population, the variable characteristics contribute this attribute in terms of quantity, in order to represent this kind of histograms. And also statistical parameter, or the population parameter, in order to determine the quantity and also to specify the indexes of this particular population family. And we could retrieve some probability distribution based on these parameters. And histogram can be represented even for the basic mathematical measurements for mean, median, mode also. So using when we program in the R, we use the corresponding functions, operators, and the expressions and the codes. And also we write our own functions for these kind of quantitative analysis of data. In order to make it qualitative, as I already said, we have to use the very according to the media or the information, we have to use the correct file format, which has to be processed in accordance with the tool. So both either quantitative or qualitative analysis, it results to provide the for resulting information, either as a descriptive or inferential statistics when we program. And some of the common expressions what we use, it depends on the parameters, and it depends on the attributes, and also it depends on the arguments what we pass as the values inside the R tool. So these are some statistical functions. You can see regression is one of the regression using linear and logistic, and also the time series. Already we have seen some examples, and also we have models called probit, orbit models. These are kind of statistical models, and also some of the machine learning algorithms included along with multivariate function. And these packages, some of the packages inbuilt which support, and some of the contributed packages which is developed by the implementer or the researcher, it supports the statistical functions in R in a very great way, like descriptive stat in case of descriptive statistics. And the final resultant outcome from the descriptive statistics is used for inferential statistics. And in descriptive statistics, also we have some of the functions like, as I showed you in the example, it displays the summary of the lowest, mean, median, mode, and the quartiles also using time series analysis, and some of the numeric variables using mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and certain techniques. And also we use a stem function to, like for example, if we want to plot a leaf. leaf stem. So to plot the information about the leaf stem, we can plot the information using the stem function, and we can arrange the values in the table format in the tabulated way for the table function. And these are some functions that could be used for descriptive statistics using R tool. And in modeling, not only this, like all the functions support different libraries and packages, and these different libraries and packages are used as a plugin. We can implement this as a, like we can implement the procedural technique using the R tool, and it could be used as a plugin in various other private and high programming language software. And some of the informations could be uh, extracted from other environment also. And the machine learning is statistics, it supports all of these machine learning also, like it supports all of the statistical informations with by applying the statistical tools in order to categorize your data, or in order to present your factors, like we in order to assign the factors for the we can use the R tool to represent the variables, and also you have dummy variable for representing the factors. So like modeling, there are different ways to model our description, descriptive data, descriptive statistics. So we have to define the problem statement in order to find out what we are going to, what crucial part of descriptive statistics is going to be involved, and what is the predictive modeling we are going to use in the inferential technique. So the real objective should be first it has to be designed and developed, and after that we are performing the data science application like regression or classification. So our model contains different kinds of outcomes based on these analysis of problems using the different techniques, like data science techniques like regression or classification or time series analysis, or testing your hypothesis, or any kind of machine learning techniques to explore the uh, data or samples or the population. So this initial data exploration is very much required in order to process our information to specify it in our model using the R tool. So where you get the outcome variable, and you have the main explanatory variables, and also we have covariates, and also we have operators, and also we model using the object oriented tools with classes and functions. So whenever we collect the data from the folder, when we collect the data and we analyze the data and store it inside the folder, the manipulations of the data are done through this R tool by, like, you can furnish all the informations through the data analysis or the process models through these operations. And also the very common data mining operations or the data warehousing techniques could be applied by like finding the missing values or the error informations when you transmit the information from one device to other device. If suppose we have some message signals of audio, video, or text, or any kind of information which is reconstructed, in that case the missing values or the error information could be found out. And any hardware devices like sensors which collect the data, which fail to uh, report certain parameters or attributes, could be replaced with the help of modeling using R tool. So we can apply the cleaning process, and we can replace the missing values using the cleaning methods, and like outlier detection and missing values imputation. So data can be prepared and set up using this R tool modeling approach. So as we know, there are different operators. There are some transformation pipeline which we can implement, uh, where we perform some operations, and these are set of operations that we can perform using the R tool. So when we go for sampling or feature selection, or transforming the data from one form to other form, if we want to enhance the data, or if the data is going to be added or updated eventually, like for a period of time, after a period of time data is getting frequently updated, or during the encoding or decoding, as I told you, we have some compression techniques in order to maintain the quality of the data. So these kinds of techniques could be involved. These kinds of techniques could be involved in the data analysis, and we use with different kinds of operations like these in order to model our data using the R modeling. And for this example, for regression, how do you assign the distance of a the information is a car, and the what is the speed of the car, and how much distance the regression analysis is performed for a car, where a car regression becomes the object. To retrieve the summary of this regression information, so we use the coefficient function, and we can intercept the values of determining the speed and distance of the cars. So this involves modeling, selection and evaluation. So there are some statistical hypothesis tests that could be applied here, and we can estimate the descriptive and inferential statistics in order to predict the problem by selecting and evaluating the learning method of the speed of the speed and distance of the car. And experimental design could be like the statistics or the information that could be arrived based on the how much the car, how much the, how with how much speed the car travels, and how much for how much distance it travels. So there is a common procedure of selection and evaluation process that we have to apply using the R model and implement it. How do we then again, after we infer some details based on the drawbacks and the disadvantages, we can improve the machine learning algorithm technique using some of the parameters and learning methods. So hypermeter tuning, there is a concept called hyperparameter tuning, and also we can just improve the classifier in order to improve the process of finding the how much, which is the car which is having a quality with a speed, particular speed, and traveling with a distance, particular distance. So you can evaluate the different hyperparameter to analyze the performance of the model. And so many
And so many
practitioners, so many of the practitioners, those who apply for those who apply the techniques of statistics, they have good exploration of issues in terms of machine learning techniques machine learning techniques operations. And there are some general statistical skills that we have to apply to interpret these kinds of models. When we interpret, we can also show the visualization of the result after improving the statistics for a particular concept, or we can just assign some conditional theorems in order to limit some large number of values or informations. And there are various inferences that could be estimated using some variability parameters and machine learning techniques. So these are some insights in order to use the R tool in case of using regression for data sampling and distribution for evaluation. So how do we use multivariate techniques? Is that like same way we have the populations and samples, that we perform some sampling bias and we select the information and we go for evaluating the information based on distributing the samples. And we can also identify the uh, probability distribution, and confidence in what is the confidence level of the values, and what is the normal distribution. And we can measure some other techniques like binomial distribution, or chi-square distribution, or F distribution, or Poisson distribution. Some sampling and distribution techniques could be applied uh, in case of machine learning techniques, where to experiment and perform significance testing. So there is a testing that can even test whether the hypothesis is null or alternate hypothesis. And based on that, we can do the perform the resampling process, and we can determine the statistical significance if we go for determining the applying the concept of one-way ANOVA technique or two-way ANOVA technique. Like we need the p-value and the t-test, one-tail test or the two-tail test, in order to determine the critical values and covariance and correlation values. So there are some parameter values that can be measured using the statistical experiments. So if we don't want to analyze through parameters, we can go for using ranking the data and sorting the data and performing some normalization and applying some data mining techniques for performing the correlation uh, and testing very independently. So these multivariate techniques are supported with the RTool with several libraries, and there are some packages also, econometric packages in case of financial process. So you can, I've just provided the link of where we get these packages in order to use it in the RTool to perform some analysis. So R is a very good tool and effective tool for handling the data and storing the data by processing through qualitative or quantitative analysis for the approach. And these statistics and the probability application in data science, it provides lots of involvement in the data science algorithms and statistical methods in machine learning, where the practitioners go for implementing most of the approaches, and they visualize the informations using the R tool, and also they use even Python fundamentals, like even with similar to R tool. Python also supports much in exploring the data for data science techniques. And there are some real-time environments that use the data science in a very large way to implement all the machine learning techniques also. So here I summarize how the tool is used for the R, how the R tool is used for data science and mathematical applications. And I just conclude my presentation by saying that we have lots and lots of practical aspects that has to be applied in data science field using the statistical applications, using the mathematical measures. So I would be happy to share some of the materials related to this if it is required by the participants. So thank you for inviting me for the presentation to share some of the insights. So I end my presentation here. Is there any questions?
Participants, feel free discuss with Dr. Ankiya, ma'am.
Participants? Sir, I
madam.
can't hear. It is not clear.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
I just have a simple question. Actually, you said in one of the weakness of R, you said it's slow for large data set. You have any recommendation like how big data set should be to use?
It could be done using MATLAB, sir.
Okay. No, in R, how big R can handle? That's what my question is.
How?
How big data set? I mean, you have any?
It cannot be handled, sir. If it is a very high-end statistical method, it cannot handle very high-end applications. But still, it is having certain limitations. So that if we are going for large database or large amount of information, and we can go for like if we want to involve some kind of immediate processing of information, that can be done in R. But if it is very slow for the large data sets, it is very difficult to be processed using R tool.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. I see some of them have posted the screenshots. So I'm happy to see the screenshots of the code. So like this, I have some more examples also. Like those who are interested can request my email ID. I can post some more examples, like which is necessary for the postgraduate projects and the research projects. very specifically, like using the machine learning algorithms, and how do we perform data wrangling, or using the data science for which is used for data analysis, like uh, very highly used machine learning techniques, how it does the data wrangling. For those, I have some examples to share. If you like, those whoever need it, you can just send a request to my email so that I can share you some other materials also. Is there any other question?
Ma'am, can you please share your email ID?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, ma'am. It was an insight to a beginner, in fact. So I hope I could contact you for more information.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Thank you so much.
I thank the participants and also all the delegates who have organized this event and giving me an opportunity to present. Thank you so much.
Participation, feel free question discuss, otherwise. Madam, I post the chat WhatsApp, ma'am. Next session
Okay,
time,
sir.
ma'am. Check it, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Otherwise, given the time, ma'am, I inform the next session, ma'am.
I will let
That
you know, sir. Actually, I am busy with other meeting.
Okay. That
So
time,
it
okay.
is
Uh,
it is not possible to for the next session, sir.
okay, madam. Okay, madam.
Maybe if you arrange some other day, I will continue with the next session.
Okay, ma'am. Tomorrow, ma'am.
Tomorrow, sir, I will discuss and tell you, sir.
Okay, ma'am. No problem.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. A.K. Sangeeta, Associate Professor Information Technology in India. Then otherwise, Adam in Science and Technology from Ethiopia. So, ma'am is both are classmates, MTech in IT from Anna University.
I thank you, Dr. Gandhi Vindin. He is a classmate and he has organized this event and made it very successful. And even he has given me the opportunity to share my presentation and my insights.
Thank you, madam.
And not only in data science, I would be very happy to discuss, even if you say about some Internet of Things or any other domain which is relevant to smart system software applications. If you are interested, I'm interested to provide some webinars in those topics also.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir.
Ma'am is
Sir?
come with this streamline photo camera, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Video.
Is it okay, sir?
Okay, ma'am. Is half slide is there.
Okay, I will disconnect the present. Shall I disconnect the presentation, sir?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for presenting given the more information with you. You are the background of computer science and IT, but is the very much of knowledge in statistical background. So I happy to see long time, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
It's more than 10 years, maybe, I think.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you very
sir.
much, ma'am.
Thank you for
ma'am.
inviting.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Shall I leave the conversation, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. If you can interact with the students, otherwise for your convenience, ma'am.
If there is anything, I will address, sir. I think they are asking the material in Telegram.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I will share the material in Telegram.
Okay, ma'am. I think maybe what's
And I will also post some of the research which I am processing. So
okay,
those who are
ma'am.
interested to join that research also, yeah, they can join.
Okay,
I will
ma'am.
post the
Sure.
research which is ongoing, and they can contribute in the research which I am already for smart irrigation for water controlling, like pest detection, disease pest detection for a wheat plant. And there are some of the topics where the research is granted. So anyone who is willing to join as a member for any kind of research which I am in, which is ongoing, they can participate. I will share in the Telegram. I will share those informations in the Telegram.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall I disconnect, sir?
Okay, ma'am.
I will share the material. I think participants asked only the materials.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so
Sure.
much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Once again, thanks to Dr. K. Singha from Ethiopia. Ma'am is accepting my invitation immediately. The busy schedule, I know. So, research and management. Okay. Now is today first session is completed. Formal thanks to this program is jointly organized Department of on of behalf of organizers Department of Statistics, Bharat University Coimbatore, and jointly organized with PG and Research Mathematics, Department of Mathematics, Jamal College is a star grade of college. The financial associate with DPT from Government of India. We'll start the next session is 3 o'clock. Okay. Kindly join that session 3 o'clock. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Feedback. Okay. Post. Kindly fill the feedback to these sessions. I post of chat box. Fill பண்ணிருங்க.